Hey YouTubers, good morning, this is Rob Moffat. Guys, I didn't know if I was going to make a video this week. I've had a cold since Monday. I want to see if I can get through this video without coughing at you guys. I'm doing fine though, I'm getting better. Glad you asked. Alright, let's get started. Last week, I did a video on a book review on Bill Meyer's book on how to convert a small minivan into a mini camper or RV. And I said that I thought it was kind of an interesting book. Also, not because of just the content that it provided, but it did what he did is how he put in the links to Amazon with some of the products that he recommended and some other places. And I know that at least the Amazon links were probably affiliate links, and he was making probably more money off the links to the products than from sales of the book. And I thought that was a pretty smart thing to do. So I thought this week I would go over making books for Kindle with links, and I was going to go over how to get the Amazon affiliate links by becoming an Amazon associate, and use the example of how I did it a long time ago. And that was kind of the problem from the beginning when I looked into it, because I did join a long time ago. Things have changed, so I'm not going to do a video this week on different affiliate links except the Amazon, what I found out, because things change so much and my experience has just been with Amazon. So I did some research, and I can tell you as of today what are the requirements for putting links into a book. Well, first of all, you'd have to be an affiliate associate, Amazon associate, and there's four things you need. You need a website, any type of website, with no affiliate links to other sites where they're selling things. You want to have 2 pages that you might not have thought about. You need a contact page and a privacy page. Contact page is very simple. It's just how to contact you. Privacy page is basically what are you going to do with any information about the person contacting you, their emails and so on. And you can do a Google search for privacy page sample, and you can get templates and examples. You can also go to websites that would be similar to yours that you're going to make and see what type of privacy page they have and just duplicate what they've done if you're not going to be doing a lot of fancy stuff. You're going to be needing the old social security number or an employee identification number, or what is that called, a tax ID. Then you got to have a regular address, not a post office. And you want to have also make sure it's a state that Amazon accepts affiliates in. Like I said, no post office box. So those are the 4 things you need to become an affiliate. And I looked for a while on the web trying to find exactly what you need. And the best place, I went back to old Bill Myers, billmyers.com. I'll leave a link to him. That's probably one of the best resources I found for putting books out on Kindle. It is a paid form, but I'm the cheapest guy on the internet, and I pay it every year because I know sometime during the year I'm going to get more than, I'm going to earn more from tips and ideas that I got off his site than it cost me for the membership. It's like $10 a month. Even less if you do it for a year. That's the rest. That's going to sound like I'm spamming for Bill Meyer's site. I'm not making a penny off this recommendation. It's like I said, I'm about a cheap guy you can find, and I spend my money on billmyers.com because if I need some help, I can go there and do a search or ask questions to the members, and I can get information pretty quick that way. So I'm starting to ramble here, and I'm not at the end of the video at all. Now, if you're just wanting to know about affiliate links for Kindle books and so on, because that's a pretty cool idea, you could probably stop right here. I thought the second part of the video, we might talk a little history here. And I happen to think right now it's probably one of the best times in the history of the world for people to be a writer. It's incredible the way things have changed. I thought we could just go over real quick to and motivate you and encourage you if you've not done any writing before. I could go over the little bit I've done. I'm not an established writer. I have published a few things, but they've been sparse, and years have gone by in between, and it's time for me to do some more. So I'm getting excited about doing some more writing again for sale. Um, if we want to start at the beginning to show you how things have changed, when I first got out of high school, which was probably like 100 years ago, uh, actually back in the 70s, I wanted to be a writer. And I got a job working in a plant nursery, and it was actually kind of a cool job. It didn't pay hardly anything, but it was fun growing plants. I enjoyed it. You get to grow stuff from the very beginning, little seeds or spores or cuttings, and see it grow up into something big, and it was fun. Plants don't fool around. You got to give them what they need. They don't care what your politics or religion are, or what you think or talk like, or how much money you got in the bank. Just you give them food and sunlight and water, and you do what they need, and they'll survive. If not, they're going to die on you. So plants can teach us a lot of stuff. But anyway, I wasn't making any money. I had to do something. And there's a saying that people who become writers aren't people who want to become writers. People who become writers, more or less, are people who have to become writers. And I wasn't making any money, and I knew I had to do something, and writing seemed to be a way I could make money. So I had to become a writer. So I got an old typewriter with a Royal that weighed about 30 pounds. And the ribbon would not advance very much. And sometimes when I wasn't paying attention, because I typed with two fingers, it would poke a hole in the ribbon. Also, the letter K would stick. So I had to kind of avoid words that had K in it, which I guess if you're a comedy writer would have been terrible, because they say that the best funny words have the letter K in them. So that little information there. The worst part is I didn't have much information about becoming a writer and how to go about the process of submitting stuff to an editor. But I did read somewhere they said that I had to have the margins were straight, and of course they were meaning that the left-hand margins had to be straight. I thought the left and the right-hand margin had to be straight, and I actually spent like a day and a quarter of trying to make my right-hand margin on my type page be straight, and it drove me insane. I kept looking for things on the typewriter where I could adjust to do it, or started changing my words, and it drove me insane. So like by the next day, I was almost ready to quit. Then I said, you know what, the editors are just going to have to live with it. They're going to have to suck it up, and because I can't do it. I don't know how to do it, and they're going to have to tell me. So that's how dumb I was. That's how ignorant I was. I thought the right-hand margin had to be straight. And like I said, the ribbon wasn't advancing on me. The K was sticking, but I just kept on writing. And I wait for the post office, the postman to come, the mailman to come every single day. Oh, Fast Eddie. That was his name. He was Fast Mailman. He used to quit all his mail deliveries by noon and have them all done and go to the pool hall and play pool every day. But I sold the first thing I ever sold. I felt like going to the moon. It was for like $125. It was amazing, which was actually not. It was a fairly nice sum of money back then. Then for the next one, I think it was like $75, and the next one was like a filler article. It was like $25. So I could see a series, a sequence, a trend developing from 125, 75, 25. Said this is not good. Even though I really liked being a writer, I wanted to be a writer, I felt I had to be a writer, I also had to make money. So I saw an article in a magazine, boating magazine, about a seamanship school in Piney Point, Maryland, and I went and joined the Seafarers International Union and went to sea on tankers and rows. And I quit writing for years and years. But that was the first thing I ever wrote. And you can see how much things have changed. I used a Royal 30-pound typewriter. Now you can use you can buy for $20 an old Neo electronic word processor that you can take anywhere. The batteries last for a year. And like I said, you can get it for $20. I'll leave a link to a video I did about them. They're really cool. You can't connect to the internet, but that's a great thing about it. You're not distracted. You can work anywhere. They're silent, and they save your material. They're just perfect. And then when you want to download it to your computer, there's a cord you can just plug in and download your file. You can take it anywhere with you. It lasts forever. And you can get it for $20 on eBay. So that's how that's changed. You don't have to worry about the ribbons not advancing or the K sticking. And as far as sending stuff to an editor, waiting for it to come in the mail, you can publish it yourself. You're your own editor now. You just go to Amazon Kindle and you press a button and download your stuff and you're done. It's amazing. Now is the best time in the world, in the history of the world, to be a writer. It's just amazing. I still miss waiting for the mailman to come and bring me a rejection notice. But yeah, things have changed. But after years went by, working on the ships, and then I got a job in a pharmaceutical company making reagents. After a while, I lost that job, and then once again, I had to become a writer because I had to make some money. What I was doing was going out on rounds, collecting stuff for sale for on eBay. And I said, maybe I could make a book and sell it on eBay. And this was before Amazon Kindle and before all the other self-publishing things out there. If you want to self-publish back then, this would be like 1998. You had to pay a couple $1,000s for people to print out paperback books for you. Now you can go to CreateSpace on Amazon Kindle and they'll create the book for you for a few dollars. One copy, a few dollars. Used to be it would cost you several $1,000s to get a book printed. Now you can do it for a couple dollars. It's incredible. I'm talking about a physical print copy. And in fact, for a while, I made my own book binder. I was binding my own books. And before I made the book binder, I was taking pages I had printed out at Kinko's, or actually it was Office Depot, and then printing out the covers on cardstock. Then I got the biggest stapler I could find at Home Depot, and I took the pages home and the cover home, and I was doing this because they told me you couldn't do it. They said if you want to bind a book, there was X amount of pages was the maximum for saddle stitching. You couldn't saddle stitch staple a book together if it was more than so many pages. My page was like 140 pages. I took them home and stapled, and then I took a screwdriver and pushed down the staples in the middle and fold them over and smashed the book flat. And I sold hundreds of them on eBay. And before I did the paper pages books, though, I sold them on floppy disk back in 1998, 99, 2000. I don't know if you guys remember floppy disk, but that's what made me excited. I could sell on a Dutch auction. If you remember the Dutch auctions back then, eBay would have an auction where one person would buy, then two persons. Pretty soon you have 20 or 30 people bidding, all bidding. And so when the auction would end on a Friday or whatever, you'd have 20 or 30 sales. And I was selling my floppy ebook for $9.98. And they cost me like 29 cents to make. So it was like printing money. It was first week I did it. I sold like close to $300 worth of ebooks. It was like sell my clothes, I've gone to heaven. It was amazing. But in a month or two, because so many people started doing it and selling books, that people were complaining, customers. And so eBay cut back on the ability to sell ebooks by floppies. And so they said, you can't sell this book, buddy. It's just a collection of information, which I thought was kind of funny. I think most books are a collection of information. So I said, I'm going to print it out as a paper copy and see if they'll stop me doing that. Freedom of the press. This is America. So I went ahead and did that, and I sold hundreds and hundreds of copies in the paper copy. But then, because of the internet resources I had in the book, they changed almost immediately, and the book became outdated, and I never did update it. I let it slide. But once Kindle came on the scene as an experiment, I did put it up on Kindle. It hasn't sold very much, but it's still out there. But I haven't done anything since that. It's been pretty long, but I feel like it's time for me to start writing again. And I want to use all the amazing resources out there. Because when I wrote my book on eBay, I actually wrote it out by longhand, sitting in a chair outside. And it took me a month to write and to edit and get it to where I could put it together. And I was so ignorant, I didn't even know the computer had like a spell check or any way to check your grammar and so on. Which actually, I don't think it had anything like that for grammar back in 98, 99. But now, like I said, today there's been so many changes. You can go get Grammarly for free. Grammarly will check your grammar, your spelling. It doesn't cost a penny. You can get someone to make a professional cover for a very small amount of money. You can get them for $5 on Fiverr. Sometimes they look halfway decent. Like I said, $5, you get a cover. You can get someone to professionally edit your book online, where before you had professional editors. You sent them to the mail, and they were used to dealing from like high-end books from New York City, where now there's people out there making a living doing editing for the ebooks. You can get very good prices for editing if you need one. But there are also electronic editors you can get to go through your book to see and find things that I read a lot of books on Kindle that people have not used, are taking advantage of this, even the spell checks or the editors that are out there, the electronic ones. You can also find tons of photos now to use in your books that are in public domain. You can also not just sell stuff on Kindle. There's Kobo and many other places, but Kindle is the 500-pound gorilla, though. It's where you will kind of make like the majority of your sales. And like I said about CreateSpace, if you need a paper book, they'll make one for you from your ebook for a very small amount of money. So these are some of the changes that have happened that make me wonder why in the world, after all the trouble I've gone through over the years to try and write and sell, that I haven't been making or taking advantage of what's out there now, the changes. I spent like the last 10 years making 500 videos for YouTube, and I've enjoyed it. I'm going to keep doing it. I love it. I'm not going to stop. But I do wonder if I hadn't spent that same amount of time writing stuff for Amazon Kindle, if I wouldn't have more stuff out there, that I would have more income and kind of be proud of what I've done over the years. The best thing about the Kindle is that there are just no gatekeepers. There's nobody to tell you that you can't publish this, you can't do this, or can't do that. I think to myself, who was it? Kennedy O'Toole? What was his name? The fellow who wrote Confederacy of Dunces. The poor guy, he sent his book out to dozens of editors and book publishers, and nobody wanted his book. He ended up killing himself. His mom found his book in the garbage, and she took it out and read it, and she realized it was a wonderful book. She sent it to publisher after publisher. Eventually, she found someone at a university that liked the book, and they published it, and it became a bestseller, and he ended up getting posthumously I think the Pulitzer Award for literature. It was something to think about. What if Kindle had been around and he could have published his book on his own without having to try to publish stuff through editors and publishing houses? Well, guys, this has been kind of a long video. I'd like to encourage everybody out there to... I've got a playlist of writing advice and things I found on YouTube that I liked that was interesting and helpful. You might want to look at that if you're interested in doing stuff for Kindle. I'm going to be starting in my writing again, and as I have successes, I'll be making videos about it to let you guys know. Most of what I've went over today is stuff from ancient history. I feel like some has-been talking about stuff from a long time ago that nobody's interested in. But I thought some of it was kind of funny about like the typewriter, the ribbon not advancing, and they can't use the letter K, and I don't even know about the right-hand margin not having to be straight, and I thought that was hilarious. I still didn't let that stop me. I think that shows how ignorant I was and how stubborn I was. And that's what I want you guys to be, is stubborn. Don't give up. They tell you can't do something. They told me I couldn't sell my book on eBay. I did. They said I couldn't sell it as a floppy. Well, I changed over to a print copy. Don't let people tell you you can't do stuff. There's always people to tell you how to get to no. You know, there's a road going to no and there's a road going to yes, and everybody knows that road to no, and they always tell you how to get there, but nobody ever wants to tell you how to get to yes. And that's how you gotta, that's what you gotta find out. That's where you gotta go, and that's what road you gotta look for and get on, is get to that road that takes you to yes. And everybody out there is telling you, no, you can't do this, no, you can't do that. But if I spent my life doing stuff people told me that you can't do, I'd have a very unpleasant, unhappy life. You guys want to focus on stuff that you want to do and find ways to do it and find answers and solutions to the problems you have, and not just say you can't do stuff because of X, Y, and Z. Find ways to kill X, Y, Z in their sleep. And keep on moving. Guys, I know I'm leaving something out, but this has been going on forever, and if you guys are still with me, I want to salute you. I'm going to leave a link to Bill Myers. It's not an affiliate link. I'm not making a penny off it. You guys want to check him out for some of the stuff he has. The guy's amazing. He started out talking about how to get to yes. He didn't know how to write. He wasn't a writer. But as the business model changed he used to create, well, he not used to, but his business model is creating content for the internet and making money off it. And he has a forum where he tells how people can do different ways of creating content. And as the things change, he has to change. And I've been watching him for years, and I've seen how he has changed from internet forums to websites and to marketing different lists to doing DVDs. And as everything keeps changing, he switched over to YouTube videos and to making Kindle books. And like I said, he's not a writer, but gosh, he started off with a nonfiction book, and then he went to fiction. And he realized doing fiction in a series would be the most profitable, and that's what he did. He started off with one book, then 2 books, and now he's got 6 books in the series, and they're selling. It's not like they're just sitting out there. They sell very well. I think he says he's made up to about $80,000 a year now, and it keeps growing every year. And from scratch, he didn't know anything about writing. He just taught himself. So I think he has a very good forum. You can join for $10 for the month. If you don't like it, quit, and you don't have to pay anything next month. And you can learn whatever you can for that month and go through the forum files. I've actually joined and quit several times because I wanted to save money. But as I found stuff I really liked on the forum, I realized I could be losing money because this is time-sensitive material sometimes. And I could have learned something that I could have profited by. And because I hadn't been online in 6 months because I wanted to save money. Well, I found out I save no money by doing that. What I do is I almost always get my money back, if not much more. So that's the end of me talking about Bill Myers Forum. Like I said, go to my playlist of stuff for writers and check back on my videos on my channel, because as I continue to do writing, as I find stuff out, and if my voice doesn't go, I'll be doing more videos. Thank you guys for sticking around. I'm really surprised to go this long. I'm kind of sorry. I don't like to make long rambling videos like this. I make a couple minute videos and get to the point and get out. Guys, thanks again. I think it's wonderful you guys keep watching my videos, and I enjoy your comments, and anything I could do to help you guys, please leave a question. I'll be happy to answer anytime I can. All right, I know I'm forgetting something, but that's just the way it has to go. I'll have to make another video later. We can cut this out. We'll cut this out. All right, guys, take care and see you out there.